Here we are, end of 2018, beginning of 2019. You have to excuse me this year, I have the flu. Because I'm not my normal radiant self. And starting this year with no expectations. Past few years have been very hard. This year's reading is going to start off a little different because now we're in a new place. No longer in Oakland, thank God. Although, to be honest, no place seems any different. So, just like every other year, start with the immediate community and work out, and this isn't showing the future. I am looking at the energies as they stand right now in this moment. First card for Santa Cruz, where we're at now. Actually got two cards here. Ordinariness and Adventure. Suppose leaving the city for the country is a bit more of an ordinary style life. I suppose that that's a type of adventure. It doesn't feel like much of an adventure to me. But I suppose it is to some people. Next card I'm going to pull is going to be for the state of California. Existence. You know, California has a real issue with live and let live. And the practice of existence, just allowing people to exist without trying to influence or coerce, really seems to be a problem for California culture. And particularly, the past couple of years, or the past year, has been horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I have never felt so just assaulted in a state before. Just on a regular basis. Just everywhere you go. And I think that's what this card is speaking to, the fact that Californians need to get over themselves and learn how to let other people exist. Next card I'm going to pull is going to be for the United States. Politics. Well, isn't that the truth? Who didn't see that one coming? I mean, now in the United States, taking a shit is political. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. And that seems to be what this card's talking about. I mean, not talking about taking a poop, but just about the politics and how people have really, really taken things too far. It's a shame that when culture becomes overrun by politics, politics should be a product of your culture as opposed to politics being your culture. Next card I'm going to pull is for Canada. Healing. It's an interesting card. It's a major arcana card as well. You know, wouldn't that be nice? See, I suppose if anybody's going to bring any healing to North America, it's going to be Canada. I think this is definitely the desire of Canada to bring some healing. I mean, there's been so much damage done to relations between between Americans and between Americans and other people because of the politics, and it's just it's very disheartening what has happened. But this is a hopeful card. Healing can be painful sometimes, though. The next card I'm going to pull is going to be for Mexico. Mexico, Central America, and Cuba. And know that Puerto Rico, Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands, all of our territories are always included with the U.S. So this is Mexico and Central America and Cuba. Flowering. It's also a major arcana card. This is in this deck is the Death card, and the Death card does not necessarily speak to a physical death. It could be a spiritual death. It could be flowering. I mean, the flower is the last stage of the plant, and it has to happen in order for the seeds to mature in the plant. So it'll be interesting to see what dies off in those countries, for those countries, whether we're talking about ideas or structures or institutions. It's a very powerful card. Next card I'm going to pull is for South America. Nothingness. Another major arcana card. It's interesting to see 3 major arcana cards come up immediately after a 7. Numerologically, 7 is a powerful number. And then to have 3 major arcana after that in succession is very telling. The Nothingness card appears at first glance to be frightening. There's nothing on the card. But what it is a symbol of endless possibility. So there is a lot of unrest in South America, and I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of possibility because of that uncertainty. We'll have to wait and see. Next card I'm going to pull is going to be for Western Europe. Past lives. Yeah, I think that's definitely an issue that is being dealt with in Western European culture right now, dealing with the past, dealing with culture and situations that have been a long time seated, and I think there's also a lot of times you hear Europeans talk about how ignorant Americans are, we don't know history, we don't know this, we don't know that. I think that there are plenty of Europeans who also are not up to par in their history. And when you don't know your history, those things come back. Those things come back. And that's what I think that's what Western Europe is looking at specifically, when I think of the United Kingdom and the whole Brexit debacle that is still an issue. Until the past is appropriately dealt with, the future is not going to be easy. The next card I'm going to pull is going to be for Eastern Europe. Oh, the thunderbolt. The breaking down of the tower and the rebuilding. Certainly see all kinds of crazy stuff going on in Eastern Europe, particularly with Ukraine, Crimea, changing, breaking down of identity, and that this feels like a scary card, and when things are falling apart, that is a scary feeling, but out of that, there's always something that is built. And it'll be interesting to see what exactly that's going to be. Who's going to be tossed from the tower? Next card that I'm going to pull is going to be for Turkey over to Iran. Oh my goodness. Sorrow. Well, no surprises there. There's plenty of things for people in that area of the world to be sorrowful over, and acknowledging sorrow is a very important part of the human condition, something that is frequently overlooked and forgotten, and I think is a large component in a lot of mental dis-ease for humanity. And there are some cultures that are more apt to express sorrow than others. But it's important to acknowledge. I think it's important to acknowledge as a global community. Next card I'm going to pull is for Russia. Completion. I feel like this card has come up for Russia in the past couple of years.
You'll have to check.
I'll have to look back. The completion card. Interesting. It's like Russia is looking for its final piece to make things work for them. And for everybody else. I don't know. The completion card is about feeling whole. And I'm not sure that I would have said off the off the cuff that Russia feels completed to me. But I could see that as a goal, as completion, whether it's of projects or of other types of goals. It'll be interesting to see what is completed, what is defined as completion within Russian culture and society over the next 12 months. Next card I'm going to pull is going to be for Northern Africa. When I say Northern Africa, I'm talking about we're going to cut it in half across the equator, north of the equator in Africa. Participation. There's been a lot of stuff going on in Africa. They have that grain belt thing, that those trees that they're planting, and all kinds of stuff that's going on. It'll be interesting to see just how much more of a player Northern African countries become in global markets. Africa's been much more active, much more active over the past couple of years, and I think is a friendlier place than what most people give it credit for. African people are in my experience very friendly people. So it'll be interesting to see. The participation card is it's not a major arcana card, but it is a very powerful card when it comes up in a reading. So it's telling me that, we're going to see something. Northern Africa has got something up their sleeve. Next card I'm going to pull is going to be for south of the equator in Africa. Letting go. This makes me think a lot of South Africa in particular. There's been a lot of violence, and it's just like, when I started reading about the violence in South Africa, it really broke my heart, because it's like, can't we move forward? Why do we have to keep killing each other? Why do we have to keep killing each other? So it'll be interesting to see what is it that Southern African countries are letting go. Alright, next card I'm going to pull is going to be for the rest of the Middle East, from, what is that? Yes, from Iran all the way over through Iraq, Afghanistan, Kuwait. All the stands. Except Pakistan, I'll include Pakistan with India.
Are you including the rest of the Middle East in when you read for Turkey?
No, I did Turkey through Iran.
That
That
pretty much hits every Arab country, because Iran is on the eastern.
Oh, that's right. All right. So that would have taken in all of the stands.
No, you have to keep going east.
All right. Well, then that's where we're going.
Okay.
We're going towards the stands.
Right.
But not Pakistan. I'm going to include Pakistan with India. Source. Well, Won't it be interesting? This is a major arcana card. The source is speaking to the highest power. The source card. This card is for those who believe in God. This is the God card. So this is telling me that the hand of God is at play in this area of the world right now. And there can be no expectations or judgments made when this card comes up, because there is no one on this planet that can claim the mind of God. So it'll be interesting. All right, next card I'm going to pull is going to be for Pakistan and India. Patience. Well, let's see how that goes. I think there's a lot of people who are chomping at the bit in India and Pakistan both on business deals and wants and desires. Companies wanting to get into there and opening up new markets for things, and I think it's just going to be a bit of a waiting game here. That patience card. Next card I'm going to pull is for Mongolia and China.